Final confession from James Garner concerning Sally Field. Born April 7, 1928 in Norman, Oklahoma, James Scott Bumgarner became James Garner. Garner's childhood was filled with struggle and tenacity throughout the Great Depression. His father, a carpenter and small company owner, and mother, a homemaker, taught him independence and work ethic. Garner lived with his mother and stepfather after his parents divorced, a difficult childhood that shaped his tenacity and groundedness. Prior to his acting career, Garner served in the U.S. Army during the latter years of World War II and the Korean War, where he learned discipline, courage, and endurance. After studying drama at the University of Oklahoma, he quit to become an actor, a move that shaped his life. Henry Wilson noticed Garner's charm, wit, and film presence, which led to his big break. He changed his name from Bumgarner to Garner to make him more marketable in Hollywood while retaining his heritage. In 1957 to 1962, Garner played the charming and quick-witted Brett Maverick in the television series Maverick, which made him famous. He charmed audiences as Maverick, a gambler with a moral code and a sparkle in his eye, setting the bar for television anti-heroes. Garner was personable and popular because he combined comedy, intelligence, and subtle emotional depth, unlike many of his peers. He charmed people of all ages with his sensitivity and genuineness on television. Besides television, Garner had a successful film career that showed his acting range. Many famous films, notably The Great Escape, 1963, displayed his adventure and drama skills as Ras, the cunning POW. He impressed viewers and critics with his wild racing feats in Grand Prix, 1966. The Rockford Files, 1974 to 1980, where Garner played private detective Jim Rockford, gained him critical acclaim, multiple Emmy Awards, and solidified his legacy as a television star. Garner became one of Hollywood's most diverse and reliable actors by continuously combining action, drama, and comedy. James Garner was recognized for his sincerity, modesty, and workmanship beyond his professional accomplishments. Fans and colleagues described him as friendly, generous, and humble. He was loved for his performances and off-screen persona. Garner's impact went beyond acting. In a shallow sector, he set a high standard for professionalism and genuineness. He influenced many actors by showing that success can be reached without abandoning one's values. Garner continued to work in films like Space Cowboys, 2000, and The Notebook, 2004, demonstrating his talent and charm. James Garner's marriage to Lois Josephine Fleischman Clark began almost cinematically and shaped his personal existence. He instantly clicked with Lois at a 1956 party. Their relationship was so deep that Garner proposed shortly, and they married 16 days later on August 17, 1956. Garner cheerfully recalled that they went out to supper every night for 14 nights in their early courtship. "I was crazy about her," he continued, emphasizing his love. Garner said the modest $77 honeymoon nearly broke him, but he considered it money well spent in the name of love. His marriage thoughts are sensible but amusing. People grumble about marriage being like the army, but a surprising percentage re-enlist. This sardonic statement showed his wit and respect for his devotion to Lois, a Jew, giving cultural and theological richness to their shared existence. A 9-year-old girl suffering from polio was Lois's daughter from a previous marriage when Garner married her. Garner showed early hints of his family life's tenderness and patience in this part. On January 4, 1958, George and Lois had their daughter Greta, known as Gigi. Gigi's arrival completed their family and enhanced the couple's closeness as they balanced Garner's burgeoning profession with the duties of raising a young child. Garner's marriage to Lois lasted decades until his 2014 death, demonstrating their strength and dedication. It was not without challenges. The couple split twice throughout their long marriage. There were 2 separations, one in 1970 for 3 months and one in 1979 for 2 years. After these breaks, they reconnected in September 1981 and continued their life. Garner stressed that his Hollywood job obligations caused these separations, not marital issues. His role on the Rockford Files required near-constant physical and emotional stamina. While suffering from arthritic knees, he appeared in practically every scene of the series and was under enormous studio pressure to perform well. He left the series in 1979 for personal reasons, not marital ones. He needed solitude to heal and regain balance. Garner spent time in Canada and a leased residence in the San Fernando Valley to recover physically and emotionally. James Garner, the iconic actor famed for his charm, wit, and everyman appeal, finally opened out about his working connection and personal encounters with Sally Field after years of Hollywood conjecture. Garner stated Sally Field is a wonderful actor and respected her work. He described their on-set chemistry, saying that while they shared scenes and interacted professionally, there were underlying difficulties that the public and media misconstrued. People frequently question if we were close or had chemistry, he said. There was professional chemistry, but don't believe the headlines. Garner explained that field workers' differing styles occasionally generated conflict. She's incredibly passionate. He smiled and said that's what makes her amazing on camera, but it's hard to handle off camera. He described the tension that emerges when two strong personalities share a creative environment and disagree on scene interpretations. Garner said, "I've always believed in letting actors explore their roles, but sometimes you bump heads." Considering how these experiences affect their performances and his notion of collaboration, Garner stressed that any friction was professional and never personal. He denied decades-old rumors, saying, "I've always respected her, and I think she respects me, even though we disagreed." He also stressed the necessity of distinguishing on-screen chemistry from off-screen interactions, which people often confuse. Garner explained that just because two actors play lovers or rivals convincingly doesn't mean they're best friends or foes in real life, revealing Hollywood partnership subtleties few outside the industry perceive. Garner showed humility and growth in thinking on his contacts with Field. "I learned patience, listening, and trusting other actors by working with Sally," he added. Field's statements shown him as an actor and a seasoned professional who had learned to negotiate celebrity, personality disputes, and public opinion. Garner's honesty cleared up years of uncertainty, providing viewers a unique insight into two great Hollywood icons' lives. He determined that the reality is usually more interesting and complicated than rumors. "Therefore, I wanted to put the record straight." Despite his attractiveness and cinematic presence, James Garner struggled with his knees. Garner's knees grew chronic and debilitating while filming The Rockford Files in the 1970s. Playing private detective Jim Rockford required running, jumping, and dramatic action sequences, which strained his joints. Garner had 6 or 7 knee surgeries due to this injury, showing the seriousness of the injuries and the resilience needed to work through persistent pain. Later in age, his knee problems required more extensive surgery. In 2000, Garner had bilateral knee replacement surgery, a major and invasive treatment that showed the long-term effects of years of physically hard acting. These painful surgeries, which required long recovery times, showed Garner's desire to stay mobile and independent despite major physical challenges. Garner had health issues beyond his knees. He had quintuple bypass heart surgery on April 22, 1988, one of his worst medical catastrophes. This significant surgery to bypass 5 clogged arteries to restore blood flow to his heart was risky, especially for a lifelong smoker. Garner's physical strength and dedication allowed him to recover quickly from this life-threatening surgery. His physicians aggressively recommended him to quit smoking to avert cardiovascular issues. Despite this warning, Garner smoked for 17 years, showing the difficulty of quitting habits. Only in 2005 did he quit smoking, out of medical necessity and personal devotion to longevity. Gigi Garner, his daughter, said, "My dad had smoked since he was 12 years old," highlighting how lifelong habits may be hard to break, especially for someone with his rigorous work ethic. Beyond cardiac issues, Garner had another major health issue later in life. After a major stroke 2 days earlier, he had surgery on May 11, 2008. Garner's prognosis was good despite stroke's long-term neurological and physical effects. Due to his good mindset and fast recovery from past major procedures, he appeared resilient and indomitable. The stroke still affected his health, leading to his physical degeneration over time. James Garner died at his Brentwood, Los Angeles, home on July 19, 2014. After arriving at his home, police and rescuers found him dead, aged 86. He died of a heart attack caused by coronary artery disease, compounded by his chronic health issues, including a 2008 stroke and heart surgery. Garner's health deteriorated in his latter years due to decades of acting stress and lifestyle habits. Hollywood said goodbye to an actor who, despite severe health issues, remained active, dedicated, and adored by generations of admirers.